Okay.
Fair enough.
Now when we're ready. We're live now. I know. Are we live on the? Right. Okay, cool. So
I also have a POV up as well. I can actually share that link with you. So if you want another point of view, I can give that to you. For anybody not.
All right, so what we'll do, Mr. Casual, then is have basically race controls. So I'll be commentating off of what you are, which it's generally better to have the lead commentator be in control of what's being shown, but since I'm not streaming, you can't do that. So what we'll do is it's not a problem at all. I'll commentate on what you're showing, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye like on the mid pack and for any other battles as well. And Mustang Chuck, if you want to keep an eye on the back of the pack, and then that way we can say, hey, you know, big battle going on here. We can switch it over, and it'll appear as though we're doing.
Talk about via the back of the pack via the mini map, right?
Yeah, you can look at the course map or the mini map, top right hand side. The top right hand side, it will always be. The course map is only on there if the person that you're looking at, that you're spectating, has it on that. So yeah, use the mini map, top right hand corner.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the back of the pack up there then.
And then of course, whoever you're spectating to, you know, gives you, you know.
I'm on my computer. I'm not hooked up to my computer's not hooked up to my PlayStation.
Oh, okay, copy. See, I have my PlayStation on, spectating through my PlayStation, so I can kind of. I'll keep an eye on the whole. Generally,
sorry, like I said, I don't have a scratch to have like a gaming PC, and I don't have all the cool setups like you guys do, where I can do. You know, I stream straight from my PlayStation, so
right.
I'm very rudimentary.
Yeah, no worries, man. It takes time and process to get you there.
Yeah. Like
I would say that this timing that I've set up is almost perfect. They're gonna be driving into the pits literally at the top of the hour.
Perfect.
That was almost perfect timing, yeah. Man, that top four is super close. You're just
happens. That happens. Like, I bring it up all the time. The time I asked official manufacturer's cup at Nürburgring GP going for the pits. Instead of the required tire change, I come out on intermediate, and I'm sitting here going lap after lap, and I'm like, I should be going faster. I got fresh tires. Why are they gapping me? And then I look down at my tire, and I'm like, oh, no. Oh, God.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you could, yeah, you can press that, I guess. I mean, whenever you want to, but yeah, they're supposed to be maybe as they're coming into the pits. That's when you would press go live. Ooh!
Right.
A little contact there going into turn 1 between Wid and Yokai, Inyasha.
Show, whatever.
So, Dig, so for the next stint, just send me a message. Just DM me the lobby ID,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah. Well,
That way,
who's
whenever
hosting?
I go to
You're gonna host?
Digital Relays.
Oh yeah,
hosting.
Digital Relays hosting, right? Yeah.
Doing production and host. So this is going to be a doing commentary from someone else's perspective. It'll be
Right.
just slightly delay of internet travel and what I'm seeing versus what's actually happened.
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mute myself. But I'll use the chat, so keep your eyes on the chat for anything happening on track or just any other moves, okay? But it looks like they're starting their last lap very shortly. Yes.
Yep.
This is pit lap. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip out, okay? Well, I'm
Ready?
not dipping out, but I'm gonna mute my mic. But I'm still here, so I hear
Right.
everything. And good luck.
Thanks.
Right on, bud. And just let me know when you get the unmuting for all of us, and I'll take off. Oh, awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, copy that. Well, welcome in, everyone. Welcome. Howdy. Hope you all are well and blessed and beautiful day. We are here today, joined by Mustang Chuck in the comms booth for Split 1, Stint 2, the IRO 7Rs, the Sprint Series, y'all. And I'll tell you, it's been a quite exciting go of it thus far. Incredible racing. Very fast and respectable racers on track. Definitely excited to be joined by Mr. Mustang Chuck here. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Oh, absolutely fantastic, man. Always love being in the comms box. It's almost as much fun as doing racing itself. So anytime I can jump in on that is always an enjoyable day.
Yeah, it's always an enjoyable time. I never thought I'd actually enjoy doing this as much as I do. And now that I've started doing it for people, now for you guys, kind of another side hobby, a side gig I do besides streaming myself.
So we do have our first of our racer. It's going to be the Viper Oak Ray out on track. Rusty Mac. He was 6.6 seconds in behind, and then we have Supa here. We'll call him Supa Sapita. We're just going to call him Supa, all right? We have Felix, in P4. We have Giannis in P5. ERA's Lucas in 6 have a father, in which we'll just call him Nay, 7, and RKL 8 have joined us out on track thus far. It is Oak Ray out in the Viper, so the Viper took the lead in the last stand. Not entirely sure at what point that has happened in, but again, with a 7-second lead over Rusty Magus. Now, Rusty Magus is quite fast, I'll tell you that, and this car is well-built car for this track. Now, obviously, there's going to be some great discrepancy in the amount of horsepower that it has. Viper, but I'll tell you, I think we should be for quite a good stint here. What are your thoughts, Mustang? You going to see that Viper just dominate this track, or are we going to get a surprise on our hands towards the end of the race and see, you know, the Nissan or perhaps even the Porsches come out on top?
You know, I think it's going to be down to between the Porsches and the Vipers, because you see all these long stretches of straights, and that's where the Vipers just going to dominate with that V10. The problem with that is those Porsches, one of the kings of handling. So when you get into the twisty bits like that right back there, the Porsche's going to be able to make up ground, and that's why I actually liked driving the new Porsche race car, because it feels so stable and it just turns on a dime. But again, you get into those straights, that Viper's just gonna eat it up.
Yeah. Certainly. Oak here. He's quite stable in that car. The Viper is very good, and if you know how to handle the car, it can be quite strong on any track. I have a buddy that uses it often. It's his favorite car. You see him coming into Ascari, dead on the mark, hitting every single apex, early on to the power coming out of Ascari, down the back straight, coming in towards Parabolica. We'll see a roughly 75 meter to 50 meter braking point. Looked like just about exactly that 5-meter braking point coming into Parabolica, and on start finish straight for Ray there, Oak Ray. And I'll tell you, couldn't agree with you more. Porsche is most certainly a car to be watched here today, because it does have a considerable advantage on handling versus the cars such as the Viper or the GTR. Now, that being said, of course, it always comes down to drivers, and it comes down to endurance rate going to be more along the lines of consistency, and then, of course, we're going to have pit strategy as well comes into factor. And so it'll definitely be exciting. Oak's on an absolute tear. Rusty Mac there is losing time, and in fact, in the past couple of laps, these last 3 seconds to that Viper. I'll tell you, the Viper's looking pretty strong here today.
Right, yeah, it definitely is. One of the advantages that Porsche will have even more so is that this track doesn't have a whole lot of elevation changes. One of the things I've noticed, even the newer Porsche race car, is very stable, but if you're going downhill into a downhill braking zone with that engine all the way to the back, it makes that rear end want to kick out so much easier. I had trouble wanting to turn one at with it, unless you hit it just right. The tail end's going to slip out on you, and you're sideways in the grass or into the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. It is similar but dissimilar to the 911. The 992 is very, very stable. I'd say, in my opinion, probably the stable car in the game currently. But it does have its downfalls, such as into braking you really almost got to be just like the 911. You got to stay somewhat into the throttle of that car to keep the stability of that car. If you let off the throttle and just kind of try to coast it through, such as you would in a front engine drive car, the car really becomes unbalanced and can really catch you out. Coming out, ooh boy, and Oakland has a wild, a little bit sideways, coming out of the chicane into the Lesmo. Has got it back under control, obviously. Good to see that out of Lesmo, solid on the throttle, and just shooting along quite nicely. Really not any battles, so to speak of, on track thus far. The closest we have is Giannis creeping up on Felix, trying to grab a P4.
Yeah, I see that back there.
And then really we don't have any other battles that are anywhere close. Currently, no, I take that back. S7R Big J going at it back here. 4 P10 Wendigo all over J there. And yeah, it's Porsche versus Porsche, and we'll see Porsche come out on top. I can promise you that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Into the chicanes they go now. Wendigo all over him. Wendigo, somebody that I've called Tom's for several times, very, very fast, and he is itching to get that move done on Big J. We'll see. Potentially, we might have a move coming out of Ascari. It really just depends on the comfortability of that driver coming out and getting that power down nice and early, but of course you cannot get yourself a penalty. Sorry, probably the easiest place on the track to get a penalty here at the tempo speed.
If you just misjudge things, especially in that last sector we just saw, you're either gonna eat some grass and go mowing lawns, or you're gonna catch a penalty. So with a track like this, it's just, I feel like it's so hard to pass on it. It really punishes you there.
Well, yeah, sorry is other than, I mean, this track is not a track that is for technical track, but the parts of it that are technical, which is every single corner on it, but because these corners are quite fast, such as the Lesmos, but you have to get them precise. If you don't get them precise, you're going to lose a lot of time to the guy out in front of you. You can see Big Red now just pulling away just slightly, half a second away from winning. So it was much closer than that last lap. Let's see if he can close the ground here into braking into the chicanes. He does close a little bit of ground on him, but Big J getting a good run out of it. And Big J is catching Sinister out in front of him, just 2.3 seconds now up the road. So 10 and 11 on the move on just lap 6 here at the Temple of Speed.
I don't know how you guys memorized all of the turn names and all of that stuff. Once I started really getting into Gran Turismo and sim racing, I didn't realize that turns had names in GT3 and F1 racing. I'm coming from mainly being a NASCAR fan, so lately I've personally been trying to broaden my horizons and trying to pick up some IMSA and WEC when I can. So that's just an interesting thing that I learned, like this kind of racing. Every turn has a name.
Yeah, almost every single does, and yeah, it's something that I have been. It takes work. It takes a long time. There's a lot of different tracks, a lot of different corners, and it really just comes with time and repetition over it. My memory is horrible nowadays, as I'm approaching my 50s, and I have never really had the greatest memory. But I can tell you, almost out there. really close, trying to really close. Boy, howdy, that was couldn't have fit a feather in between those two Porsches there coming into that chicane. Boy, that was nicely done. Wendigo compromises exit though coming out of the first cane, so unable to really secure any more ground there coming second chicane. The story remains the same. In fact, Big J opened up a 1 second gap now coming into Lesmo 1. And we'll see if he can gain any ground coming out of Lesmo 2 and onto this big straight here before coming into Ascari. And he did get a slightly better exit. Thousands coming off and tenths dropping. Rate, but really Ascari here is my favorite opportunity. It's my favorite part of the track, and a really great opportunity to get a pass made coming into Parabolica.
So apparently, from what we're hearing from production that Ferrari is struggling back in P12 and P13. Why do you think that is, Nolander? Why does Ferrari seem to struggle at this track?
Well, the Ferrari's not overly powerful car, for one thing. Two, again, it's really going to, that car is going to be quite a handful on these corners because it's not such a technical track. But overall, each corners are quite technical, and the Ferrari being a tail-happy car, you're gonna, if you lay down on the power just too hard, you're gonna get a little slideways. And then, you know, as they say in drag racing, if you're spinning, you ain't winning. Well, it's the same thing coming out of each one of these corners here. Now we can see him there keeping right up with Oak and that Viper. So it's really gonna come down to the drivers' preferences. A lot of drivers prefer some oversteer, versus understeer. And of course that car is, like I said, really tail happy. But as far as to why they're actually struggling so bad on this track in particular, I'd have to say that's due to it probably being most lacking in terms of horsepower and raw speed to these straights versus even the new Porsche will outdo it.
Right. Yeah, that's good analysis there. Definitely helps out with it being Porsches being RR cars. As Wendigo goes wide,
goes very wide.
There's a little bit of contact back there, or he kind of slipped up on braking.
Yeah, potentially. I think it was potentially a bit of both in that case. I think he just went for the late brake to close up the gap and then realized going to be contact, or there was, and so he went wide to try to avoid it. Either way, there wasn't much impact on Big J at all. Grooving still. And again, these guys are keeping right with Sinister, gaining just very, very little bits of time and then again time here and there. The Mazda here at the Temple of Speed, really probably quite a stable car. It's quite a tail-happy car too. But then again, it really, it comes down to the driver, because you see cars on tracks such as the Lexus in P6 with ERA's behind the wheel. Currently is 6 seconds off the back of Felix. Has been gaining ground steadily for some number of laps now. That Lexus is probably the wildest car to handle in the field, leaving out the Viper, of course. Both of those cars incredibly tail. Get too hard on that loud quickly coming out of the corners, and it's going to send for a bit of a ride.
Yeah. Talking about the Mazda again, that's another one to keep an eye on with that rotary engine and how high it can rev. That might actually also to later on down the road help it out with all the long straightaways we got here at Monza.
Yeah, no, indeed. High revs definitely a good thing. If you can keep the revs high, coming out of your corners and really coming into them as well, you're gonna slightly more stable than what you would if or just say coasting in or out. It acts somewhat like a turbo, to where it will just all of a sudden you find more power than what you thought the car had, and it'll get wild on you. But if you, much like with the Porsches, if you keep those RPMs up a little bit, you're going to be a little bit stable rather than. You'll see a lot of drivers do this to where they don't fully let off the throttle coming into the corner, much like trail braking works. But you see Wendigos dropping back just slightly, still right at the 1 second mark, but then gaining ground there, gaining considerable ground there, 0.4 of a second through Ascari. And that's what I was kind of wondering. As far as those two go, the two Porsches here kind of battling out a little bit. You see it often. You'll have a driver that is just more confident around certain areas of the track, and then you'll have the next driver in behind going to gain time, his confidence level, and the stability of whatever car he's running. But of course, now looking at the two Porsches, what we're seeing here is just a case of one driver better at one sector and the next driver being better at the other sector. Really, the times are right there, but big ground here again. 0.3 of a second of Big J, and I think we might have a bit of a battle here. It's been brewing for a minute. Definitely the closest to anything we've got to a battle on the track. And I mean, they're keeping right up with that Mazda.
Yeah, right here in 910, P9, P10, and P11, really starting to heat up.
Right.
Going back to what you were saying too, it just talking about different drivers with different confidence levels at different sectors of the track. You know, that just also goes to how it really emphasizes the team aspect of endurance racing and stint racing like this. Drivers are better in the rain or better in certain sectors, and that falls into different strategies for how you want to run a particular event in a base sport like this.
For sure, it makes a big difference on which stint. Here we go. Here goes Win. Sorry, is he going to get the job done?
Not quite.
Oh, that was a good attempt. My personal preference is to get that cast on coming out of Ascari, but he took a shot there. It didn't quite work out for him, but he all over the back. Big J still just, I mean, right there.
I feel like he's going to make the pass at the end of the straightaway here because he's got the draft.
Definitely got a good draft and a good late break coming into the first set of chicane, and definitely get the job done. And he's going to opt for the outside. And personally, this is the way to make this. If you can stick it on the outside of the first corner, you're going to have the inside for the second corner. And I'm not sure what happened there, but big time loss for Wendigo.
Huh. Weird. Maybe he just lost it a little bit and just needed to gently get back on it.
It almost looked as though, you know, I just said he would have missed it. Hit third instead of first or something. Just didn't have the power. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. It's happened to all of us. It stinks, but he's still got a lot more race to run. Got, you know, if doing what he's doing, close that gap again.
Oh, absolutely, plenty of racing to go.
I'm gonna be looking at these guys down the road.
Yep. So just a bit of catching up on what's going on throughout the rest of the field. Oak now has a 21-second lead over Rusty Maggots in the Nissan GTR there. Rusty with a 12-second lead over Supa, and Supa with a 12-second lead over Yanis. We have Felix within 5 seconds of Yanis now, so P5 trying to catch up to P4 there, and have Lucas now within 1.7 seconds of P5. So this potentially will be our next battle for position here if nothing happens with Pico and Big J.
And the other thing we're going to need to keep an eye on too is Oak looks like he's about to be approaching the back of the pack. So yeah, he's going to have to navigate this lap traffic if he's that 21-second lead he's got.
Yeah, indeed. And he wants that grow is want to be slowed down by this traffic. But I can tell you from personal experience that these drivers definitely have a high degree racing racecraft as a whole, so to speak, light on the track. They have a high degree of integrity. That's always really nice to see.
Yeah, and that's what's really nice about the leagues that, you know, the IRO and what the HG World Series does is we really try to emphasize with our groups, you know, clean driving, none of this stuff you'd see in the dailies, desperation moves, and anybody's heard me broadcast before, like I said, there's a difference between a little bit of door banging and dirty driving, right? So
for sure, readiness racing, absolutely.
Right, and that's one of the things we can really police that up for various leagues that we do about kind of drivers we don't want to see. Yeah,
no doubt. So Lucas now closing the gap to within second, coming into Lesmo 1, hard on the power there, and is catching Felix out of Lesmo. Grown again, Porsche being more nimble, considerably more than the Lexus, but the Lexus does have some serious raw power. Again, can be quite a handful. But we shall see as they're coming into Ascari now, what kind of jump he can get coming out of Ascari, and that's a handful coming out of Ascari there. Go a little wide, power down too much, and it's going to be right round for sure. Down to 0.8 of a second now, coming down into Parabolica. We'll see if he can close the gap coming in Parabolica. And no, just as I suspected, the Porsche being more nimble actually gains time to Parabolica, but then now Lucas coming right back, coming down the start-finish straight, and really starting to close that gap well within the screen now of Felix. So things are about to get exciting here. I suspect within the next lap or two, we will have a move made by Lucas. Quite quick. I've raced with him for a number of years now, and I certainly can't keep up with the guy. I can tell you that.
Right. He is right up on his bumper. Games I like to play when I'm racing. Around the outside, looking to make the pass.
Yep, which is going to give him the inside. And give him the inside for this first second chicane here. He's going to get the move done. There it is. Pass for P5 has been made. Cleanly, well done there. Seen that coming from a mile away. I know the driver quite well. As I've said, I've been for years. He is he's a very intelligent driver. He will make that move when it is most optimal. Like if he's going to attempt a move, generally 90% of the time he's going to get the move done because he has studied the driver in front of him. He knows where the weakness is versus his strength, and he'll get that move done see now a gap just starting to open up there to near half a second. We're at 0.4 of a second. Now the Porsche is obviously barely within the slipstream, so breaking away to be done in the corners, which is going to be difficult because that Porsche is going to be stronger in the corners here.
All it's got to do is got on that slipstream and wait for a mistake. Patience is always a key thing in racing that sometimes any of us can forget. I got to make this pass. I got to make this pass. But a lot of times, if you just kind of hang out, that's what I like to do when I'm trying to make a pass. Is play a little bit of mind games and dance around the rearview mirror, and wait for my time. Wait for your moment.
Yeah, no doubt, and it works too. The mind games that you speak of, you know, just getting the nerves up on that driver in front of you. Then the driver in front of you is going, okay, well, where can I push a little harder? And then they'll push. We see both cars there, P5 and P6, getting just a little bit sideways, coming out of the chicane there. So, and Felix goes a little wide on the exit of Lesmo 1. Definitely wide. He's using every bit of the circuit here, trying to gain time on Lucas, but Lucas now with a 1.6 second lead over Felix. So now well without the slipstream. He has broken that slipstream. We'll see if Felix catches him back up going through Ascari or not. No, Lucas is just absolutely on a tear now within 6.4 seconds of Yanis.
Into Parabolica here. This is Parabolica, right?
Yep.
The last turn on the track, Parabolica.
Yes, sir.
Starting to break away now.
Yeah, up to 1.7 seconds now. So Lucas really trying to run away, and I can guarantee he's got his eyes set on Yanis, and Yanis. What we may see here is we may see Lucas. He catches Yanis, because I have seen this driver do this a number of times, and he's, like I said, he's very strategic, very intelligent racer, and he will use that driver in front of him, and he will just stay right in behind him. He will serve fuel and push that driver along, help try to catch up to P3, because ideally, I guarantee you, that's what Lucas's goal is for the end of the stint. He wants to put his team up into that podium position, and not entirely sure as to why, whether or not qualifying or what. They're as far back in the pack as they are, but I can guarantee you that's his goal, is to get them back up into the podium positions by the end of this stint. And he's within 20 seconds. We'll call it, 19 seconds. No, we'll call it 20 seconds. Almost 20 seconds exactly when you count all the tenths up and whatnot. Within striking distance of P3 in the form of Stupa there.
Yes, and I believe we saw a blue flag notification. Oak starting to run into lap traffic now? Or... Well, closing in.
Yeah, definitely closing on to the back of Wendigo, who has fallen. Oh, no, it's not Wendigo. Yeah, it is Wendigo, actually. They're closing up on, who has fallen back to P12. Must have had a considerable bobble there. Lost position to Jake, P1R. Jake there is now all over the back of Big J. So it's P11, 10, and 9 are definitely having a bit of a battle here. Battle for P9. Sinister taking a defensive posture here coming into Parabolica. That is, of course, to compromise his exit speed. And here comes Jake around Big J side, but Big J, we'll see if that Ferrari get the job done.
Be 3 wide? This.
Does get the move right up onto the tail end of Sinister as well, kind of splitting the difference between the two cars. Gets the power down nice and early. P1R Jake's definitely on the moves. Inside, takes a look. Nope, he's just earlier.
The inside there.
The Curve de Legrand is on the outside into the chicane, and he gets done. P1R Jake moves up P9. Excellent job there. Late break on the outside. Gives him the inside for the final bit of that chicane there. And well done for P1R Jake there. I gotta say, that is a fantastic looking lift on that Ferrari.
Yes, it is indeed. Screaming down this straight portion. Up under the bridge. What's this next sector called?
Ascari.
Sorry, okay. Here comes Oak up on that lap traffic again. So do you guys have ghosting turned off this?
I believe so.
Definitely adds another layer of challenge.
Yeah, any legitimate league is not going to have ghosting on. We don't have ghosting in real life racing. We want sim racing to be as close to real life as you can. So any legit, in my mind, you got to have that ghosting.
Right.
But indeed, you are now definitely coming into some lap battle. He is well within the screen of Indigo. And it'll be interesting to see here if he waits to come out of the chicanes to try to make that move on Wendigo. Wendigo definitely closing the gap up to Big Red now as well. Or Big J, apologies. Big J, formerly called comms for a gentleman named Big Red.
Right. How is Oak going to navigate all this? We'll flash the lights to let him know, hey, I'm behind you.
Yeah, Oak Ray currently running purples, and there it is, flash of the lights. He's going to try to get the job done here, coming, and he does. Nice move around the outside of coming out of Lesmo too, gaining ground very quickly up onto the back of Big J as well. Again, that horsepower, the raw power of the Viper really prowess here at the Temple of Speed.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect car for this track.
That's what I was expecting. Long sections of just straights, American power.
Indeed. Here comes Oak. He's going to try to get around Big J coming through and into Parabolica. He's going to get this done here. Big J does not want to impede this driver at all. Again, the standard set very high when it comes to racecraft here in this league, and of course very appreciative to see that. Now he's got to make his way in through and around Sinister as well. He definitely doesn't want to hold him up either, but he certainly doesn't want to have that gap closed back up by Big J either. Wendigo coming around, taking a look possibly on sideways, coming out of the chicane there. That definitely compromised his speed upon exit there into the Curve de Grande. And I can tell you, that is going to compromise his ability to close the gap to the chicane here. But he does a fairly good job there as we right back up on the back of Big J again. And Oak is definitely up on center there. Some pretty competitive cars, I'd say, similarly balanced as well as far as handling goes. Viper and the Mazda. So this is interesting to see how long Sinister is able to keep Oak Ray just out of passing distance. Again, he doesn't want to hold him up, slow himself down either. And these drivers at this level are very good about not slowing one another down or compromising their own speed. Oh, giving the flash there, just let Sinister know he's going to come on by into Parabolica, and Sinister just jumps all over the tail end of him. Oak's draft, get down this straight stretch here and try to pull away from Big more. I think Big J is firmly well outside of the slipstream here. Oh yeah, indeed. He's 2 seconds back now from Sinister. So definitely see Sinister there just trying to stay with as much as he can, as long as he can stay in that slipstream is really going to help him out. Now we see first pit stops coming from this group of racers here. And the former Rusty Maggots in P2 really been having a strong showing here for Stint 2, keeping his times very very close there. You can see lap 13, 14, and 15 all in the 149.5. So incredible consistency shown from Rusty Maggots there. And again, he is quite quick. I've raced with him before, called toms with him before. Very confident racer and very capable as well. So now it's Giannis moving up into P2, into P2, but it is Oak on an absolute. Oh no!
Oh,
Had a DC from Oak, and I was just going to say, I believe 39 seconds to the good there. It might have been 29. I just caught a glimpse of 4. Oh, that is most unfortunate. Oak, obviously the fastest person on track in that Viper with a 148.075, and that was lap 22 for race control that we lost Oak there. And man, that's unfortunate. That the way the rule setting is, he's going to be starting. Who knows where he's starting out in the next stint? Probably around 6-7 mark. Knows that is so unfortunate. We hate to see that.
Yeah, and that stuff like that happens even for a life race. You're having a hell of a race, you're doing great, but then transmission fails, engine blows.
Right. Absolutely.
It seems to have been not internet related, it was an accident, according to the chat down here. But that is unfortunate that something like that happens. It's always frustrating as a driver when something like that happens, but that's racing. It happens.
Yep.
What makes it unique from other forms of sports.
Yep. So we are going to see RA's Giannis here take back over the lead of this race due to that unfortunate disconnect and the pit stop from Supa here. He is come out in P3, so he is looking very, very good for the remainder of this stint. It is Lucas up into P2, and he is still tracking down Giannis. So Lucas, mission accomplished thus far. Obviously, still has a pit stop to make. The only drivers to have pit is Supa, Rusty Maggots thus far. Just 23 laps. We lose another driver. We did
I saw
lose
something jump up. Pop up. I didn't catch who it was. I didn't see it fast enough, but lost another one due to a DC. Well,
let's see. So we have Wendigo on track, Big J, Sinister, Jake, RKL in 7, 2.8 seconds in behind P6 and Nay Brother.
I think it was Liba Firestarter.
Yep, that is who it was. Indeed, that was P13 before the loss. Oh boy, Wendigo making a move on Big J, gets it done. coming into the chicanes. Great late braking job there. A pinch of a little bit of a touch. Definitely clearing space now as they come in through the Lesmos.
What goes into the? Oh, let's look at this replay. See how this worked out here.
Just sheer outbroke him there. Got the job done. Either way, move done. Now it's Felix jumping off into the pits. He is going to come out in P7. Not a bad place to be, as RKL, Nay Brother, both have to make pit stops, as well as Lucas and Giannis up in P1 and P2.
Go trying to stick up onto Indigo's draft here, or his slipstream for those of us across the pond. I know you're a NASCAR fan when you don't call it slipstream, you call it the draft.
Indeed. Either way, it's advantageous in that place.
Oh yeah. One of the jokes I've said before too to some of my friends who are F1 fans is they talk about a race engineer, and I say, you mean crew chief, right?
Yeah. Indeed.
It's a crew chief, not a race engineer.
Right? Yeah, facts. That's
we're all friends here.
a bit of historical racing knowledge.
Yeah, right.
So Giannis now 9.2 seconds ahead of Supa. Lucas has now come into the pits, already dropped back into 4. However, it looks as though he will potentially lose 1 more position, 2 more positions, in fact, and I think that's where the bleeding stop, but maybe not. Felix might jump out ahead as well here, and he does indeed get the overtake done, as Lucas still in the pits and just now coming out. So Lucas going to come out of the pits in P7, just in behind Felix there, and it'll be battle on for the remainder of this race for Lucas. Felix has made his pit stop.
I've just now passed the waypoint, so we're about halfway through this race. Still a lot more race to run.
Absolutely. So Project 1 racing team here, P1R Jake now in the pits as well. But it is Giannis 9 seconds up the road from Supa. Giannis going to have a pit stop. He is going to have to navigate shortly. So that will give the lead to Supa. And just as I say that, Giannis does dive into the pits, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out. But that does give Supa the lead. So it is Porsche lead race now. Due to the most unfortunate departure of Oak.
Yeah. It's sad to see, especially everybody knows I tend to prefer my American cars in real life. Not that I dislike Porsche or anything, it's actually my favorite European manufacturer. But it always makes me smile when I see an American manufacturer doing on a race.
Indeed, it's
almost
hard to.
Heartbreaking to see, some a situation like that happen and put a driver in a car out of the race. But like before, that's racing. It happens.
For sure.
I think something happened a couple years back. NASCAR. I'm a big Ryan Blaney fan, and it was looking like he was about to win a race, but the last turn of the last lap, he ran out of gas. So,
oh man, yep, that's unfortunate. That's a firing of the. Oh.
Yeah.
So it is RKL now who is up into P3. However, he has a pit stop to serve as well. So we can definitely see here, again, going back to the beginning of this stint, how pit strategies definitely come into play on your current style race. So when he comes into the pit, it will be RA's Giannis who will take back over that P3 and will proceed on to trying to catch Rusty Maggots and Supa. And he's got a bit of time to go before he does that. 17, just about 20 seconds to Rusty Maggots and 24 seconds to Supa.
That's a reference to. I'm here back in Stint with the Mazda. All of those RPMs that the rotary engine will give it. And the Parabolica. I just love the way this car sounds. Mazda's my favorite Japanese manufacturer, and it just. I want to say I had heard that they were going to make as Mazda heads into the pits. That they were gonna make the RX Vision reality, but you know how it is with car manufacturing and a lot of stuff's speculation and rumors. You see one concept car, you know, the internet just runs with it, but it might not be true at all.
Yeah, copy that. It's gonna be the same for anything on the internet.
Yeah. It's like the that whole thing that was going on for a while. It seems to have checked up. You know, I guess you could call it boomer bait, where they'd show these obviously AI generated cars and say this is coming soon, and you know, it's cool. But you look at it just a little bit, and you're like, AI.
Right. There was an unfortunate circumstance I had run across too about a movie that was coming out, supposedly. And it was 100% fake. And when I first seen it, I didn't catch it. I was like, oh yes, I was hoping they were going to do another of those. And it was, they were talking about how they were going to do a Gran Turismo 2 movie. And I think they may still, but that one turns out it was false.
Yeah, so many of my hopes have been dashed before when I'm like, oh, yeah, they're making another one. Although I will tell you, movies coming out that I am looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing the Backrooms.
Copy that.
That's kind of a
Supa is 6.8 seconds ahead of Rusty Maggots. Have a bit of a battle going on back here with Felix and Luke catching up to the back of Felix. And I don't suppose it's going to be very awful long before Lucas tries to grab that position away.
Oh, yeah. He's making up lots of ground right there. Look at that. Right up on his bumper. That's what it looked like at the end we were looking.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Coming out of Lesmo 2. Ground on this long straight there on the stretching the legs out on that Lexus. Definitely has more power than the Porsche here. Does not make the move coming into Ascari, but potentially coming out of Ascari. If you can get this great cut there, does.
Oh, he goes a little wide.
Every bit of the track. Very nice, but really, Felix got a little bit better of an exit, but due to the slipstream factor, Lucas definitely still gaining ground into Parabolica now and out. We'll see how much ground. Oh yeah, he's definitely got a better exit. Lucas now on the move. We'll see if he decides to go defensive there into the first chicanes, and it looks as though he's going to make Lucas potentially go around the outside of him. Lucas might do a little bit of over-under here.
All up on his bumper. I'll tell you, that's also nerve-wracking. If he gets a little squirrely coming out. You know, that gets nerve-wracking too, even if you're on the attack like that. You know, because you don't want to ruin somebody's race and send them off into shadow realm, as they say. But
absolutely,
it gets really tough in that slipstream too. As he bobbles it through that chicane, loses some more time. But Felix has a 1 second penalty.
Indeed, picks up a penalty going through the chicane. Just cut that first bit a little sharp, I think.
That can be very easy to do here.
Yeah, indeed. Because the best way to take those chicanes is to essentially hop those sausage curbs, and you cut it and try to get the sausage curb to go right directly underneath the just the inside of the tires where you're coming over. But if you get too far over to where the sausage curb is under the middle of the car, it's going to penalize you for it every single time. And it looks as that's exactly what we've seen here. So now Lucas going to grab that position away easily from Felix, moving up into P5 as they again come into Parabolica, and he's going to have the overspeed there as well and potentially pull out of the slipstream. Nope, Felix still in the slipstream, just slightly, I believe, yes, gaining ground, and I can promise you that is not from the sheer horsepower of that Porsche versus the Lexus. Definitely has the upper hand in that category.
Yes, it definitely does. I'm talking about the slipstream some more. They have the slipstream set to custom for the official PD events. I've always hated that because through my driving, I can't build that gap as much as you usually can, because the slipstream is stronger. And having a time or two for me where I'm tucked into somebody's draft and we're going into a turn, and I'm hard on the brakes, but the strong slipstream just sucks you into the back of that car, even though you're on the brakes for what feels like an eternity.
Yeah, the dirty air makes the car lighter, so it doesn't have the ability to brake as quickly because of the loss of overall grip. It's going to catch you out if you're not used to it. And I find that myself being something very difficult to navigate. Is, I mean, into a corner, you get too much overspeed and therefore compromising your exit. And it's really it's like you're on a tightrope, and it's a very fine line of going too far, too fast on your braking, and then you're again compromising your exit. We can see Rico now has gotten around Big J. Not entirely sure when that happened, but
down long stretch here, ready to go into the bridge. Down into, remind me again, what was this sector called? I'm trying to remember.
Ascari.
Ascari. Got into Ascari. Parabolica. Definitely building that gap with Big J.
Indeed.
Maybe he's got some tire issues or something that's slowing him down. I'm not sure. Down across the front stretch. Into the first set of chicanes. Very tough thing to handle, this first chicane. The mean turn one madness at Monza. Yeah. Especially on the first lap of a race.
It's a thing, I'm telling you. No doubt about it.
The reason
So
why
Lucas,
PD put in ghosting, like heavy ghosting in that first turn for daily races and the like.
Yeah. Lucas now in P5, gaining quickly on RKL up there in P4 within 1.6 seconds now. Yana just up the road 7.2 seconds in front of RKL. So again, we're looking at just about a 9-second gap between Lucas and Giannis. RKL being the only driver in the field who has yet to make a pit stop. So that position is going rather easily for Lucas. And should be happening here quite soon.
Right. Think he's on the hard tires?
No, there's nobody that's on hard tires in this case. It's a mandatory medium and soft compound.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So maybe he's on the mediums, and that's why he hasn't had to pit yet.
Well, again, as we have discussed in Stint 1, I was part of the discussion, obviously, Tom's box for Stint 1, but these Porsches are very good on air degradation and fuel consumption.
Oh yes, that's definitely one of the things that Porsche has been famous for in Gran Turismo is being very gentle on the tires. I wonder how it stacks up against the McLaren Group 3 and Group 4 cars.
Lucas making Parabolica has job done on RKL even before he has to pits. Looks as though RKL this lap anyhow. Indeed he does. So that is going to give Lucas for the time being P4, 9.5 seconds off the back of Yanis. You can see him out in front of him there, which definitely drives the guy to push even harder. He's going to want to still conserve a bit on 17 in the stint, which 16 of those I do racing lap. KL coming out of the pits does come out ahead of our Jake, so firmly with 7 P1. Our Jake is just at the start of the start-finish straight there. But Lucas absolutely flipping along. I believe they started off the stint in 8, if I remember correctly. So gaining 4 positions thus far in this, looking really good.
Under the Brembo banner.
Shout out to the and absolutely facts. Lucas is a really, really nice guy, and he definitely is very good about the team. In fact, Lucas is the type of guy that he'll help anybody.
It's like Felix just got to have second penalty.
Much can be said the same for many of the guys in RA. Yeah, that is not going to at all help Felix's case. Definitely now going to be fighting even harder to try to get back in the slipstream of Lucas. That's going to put him like 3 to 4 seconds off the back of how much ground this can gain before Felix has to serve that penalty.
You're talking about the
another one out of a 2-second penalty. That is most unfortunate. Things have gone from bad to worse here for Felix on lap 34 here.
Probably cut that first shape hard. Taking very careful care to go to the second chicane there, so he doesn't cut too much. Bad situation worse. Oh, you hate to see it.
Indeed, man. So
Talking
unfortunate
about
for everybody.
talking to you about what you were saying about the people. That's one of the things I'm glad I started picking up sim racing. The way I say it is semi-serious. I like to try to be competitive, but at the end of the day, I'm having fun. But just really delve deep into something like this. It's insane the amount of people you meet and people you make friends with you normally wouldn't in real life or never have the opportunity to. So that's one
Right.
of the things I love about sim racing, Gran Turismo, all the various teams, is making some new friends and trying out some new things.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I've said it before and certainly don't have an issue with saying it again. The sim racing is hands down by far and away the best gaming community in the world. There's nothing touches it. The bonds that are created through gaming can be quite substantial. You really do gain true friendships through gaming. But in the sim racing world, that is very prevalent. Like,
Oh yeah,
these guys become very tight knit. They spend a considerable amount of time together and rather enjoy each company, and what you get out of that is the bond, but it's more than that, because there's not another gaming out there where teaching is such a aspect of it. And in the sim racing community, when someone it makes themselves available and dedicating their time, which is our most valuable gifts as beings, because give someone your time, you can never get that time back. And so I believe that is wholeheartedly the biggest reason why the sim racing community is so tight, is because people are willing to do just that and give up their time, that they could have otherwise spent doing, whatever else that
right. And I've been blessed that I got involved with the PhD crew early on. I never thought I'd be as fast as I am, and I couldn't have done without everybody in the PhD community coaching me and encouraging me. And it's our little corner of the internet has grown so much, and I love to see it. Just look at all the people from the PhD community together down at the 24 Hours of Daytona, and that's just not something you really see in normie kind of hobbies, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The team aspect of sim racing draws people even closer together. And the great thing about that is not only are people who step up to teach, and my theory is on when it comes to sim racing, everyone can learn something from someone else, and everyone can teach something to someone else.
Right.
It's very versatile when it comes to that. You can learn a different line from any. You can learn different braking strategy. You can learn trail braking for, say, just different pit strategies, and even such things as your mindset on confidence, as we spoke of earlier, because I know that as you start getting faster, what you're going to see is that you're going to start wrecking. And it's because you are on an edge at the limit of a place that you've never been. And so your confidence takes a hit, thinking, oh, I am coming into this corner way faster than I ever have before. And so you hold the brakes for longer and try to turn into the corner, and the car is not going to accept that. You have to have the confidence and the trust in the car that car is going to maintain its grip, even though you're experiencing it in a completely different way that you have. And now, Lucas, we have picked up a 1 second penalty there, unfortunately. and that is going to not help his case for catching up. Yanis, who is 12 seconds currently ahead, that's going to run to about 14 seconds almost after this penalty is served from Lucas.
Dancing around those curbs, gets wide there a little bit into the gravel trap, but keeps it on the track.
It has become quite foggy and a bit of mist coming off the track here. So track temperatures definitely cooling down, which is going to both help and hurt these racers as they navigate Temple of Speed here. Monza is incredibly fast track. And so what will track temperatures dropping is the racers and the cars, they are going to have slightly less grip on the track, but the tire degradation is going to also decrease as well. So we'll see the grip last a little bit longer on tires here, which is, again, is going to be helpful and hurtful for these drivers today. So it'd be interesting to see how they navigate that aspect of the. Not much in the way of battling going on. You look all in all 5.3 seconds to Lucas. That was a greater gap before Lucas had to serve his penalty. No, I take that back. Actually, it is RKL and P8 gaining on P1R's Jake there in that beautifully done looking livery on that Ferrari here as we can see him come down the start finish straight into the first chicane. Is RKL going to gain time in the Porsche on that Ferrari? And no, RKL does a really nice job navigating that first chicane into the Curve Le Grand here and coming into the second set of chicane, and P1R Jake is on a tear right now. He is running purple through that first sector, absolutely sends it through that chicane. Coming into Lesmo 1, nailing the apexes. Really, really good looking run for P1R Jake right now. Lesmo 2 absolutely on point as well, gets the power down nice and early coming out of Lesmo 2. We can see that gap growing as he makes his way in towards Ascari. We'll see if the Porsche is able to navigate this. Yeah, on our Jake up 93 thousandths of a second on the purple. You can get a bit of a compromised exit there. It looked like that was just slightly slow. We will see as he comes into Parabolica here if he is still purple or not. We may at a new faster fast lap from the current fastest lap leader in the form of P1R Jake, currently with a 147.933. Is he going to better that time? And he's going for it. He's pushing for it, and he does. A new fastest lap time, 147.904. And I can tell you all, that is not a slow lap.
And our Jake coming down here into the first chicane. Done. Exit. Up into this hammer down right-hander. So, educate me. How do they go about naming these corners? Why do they name the way they do? Like, what does it mean translated or whatever?
Well, it a lot of times it's named after the racer or even an event that has happened in the past on the track, and sometimes they will they'll change a name of a corner due to an event that has happened, say a really bad crash at a corner, such as on Mount Panorama. I cannot remember the name of it. Life of know that I think it's the final corner was named after a gentleman, renamed after a gentleman that had a horrible incident there, and I think potentially even lost his life on that. I'm having a hard time recalling, but yeah. Anyways, it'll be a lot of times, as I was saying, it'll be driver such as the on the Nürburgring Nordschleifer, the first main corner coming off the circuit and into Nordschleifer is the Sabine Schmidt corner, and
the Queen of the Nürburgring.
Yeah, exactly. And Sabine, what an incredible racer! And boy, howdy, I've watched. Copy that. Thank you, Roll, for that information. Final corner.
Isn't there a corner here at Monza named after Ayrton Senna? Or was that another button?
That is... There is a racetrack with that. Yeah, local definitely do have their own names for tracks. Anyways, Murray's Corner is the corner of earlier, y'all. Yeah, thank you, Race Control, for that bit of information. Appreciate that. Yeah, corners are definitely, like I said, there's so many different tracks, so many different corners, very difficult to learn them, especially when you come into an 8 stuff as quickly. So,
down into Parabolica?
Yeah. Race lead now for Supa is down to 8 seconds. Rusty Maggot's really making a push here to try to close that gap up with just 8 racing laps remaining in this stint. And then we will move on to, obviously, stint 3, which is split to stint 3 or split to stint 1 according to our schedule, but you guys will just basically
immediately after this, I'm going over to commentate on the PhD league race.
Very good. Yeah, and I will to the next stint here and about 5 to 7 minutes, just getting some racing information from our chat, and thank you for that, Jeffrey. Absolutely appreciate that. Ascari, for those of you who are interested, was named for a driver that drove for Ferrari and also manufactures their own cars. Thank you for that information. That's good.
Ferrari. Right. Down into the second chicane, Super Supida. Control.
Yeah, now that
right here, right?
Yes, you were correct. Lesmo 1 and 2. He's just come out of 2. Yeah, and that lead is definitely dwindling now down to 7.6 seconds to Rusty Maggot's. Again, like I said at the beginning of this track, Rusty Maggot's no slouch on track. Very, very fast and capable racer, and Monza is definitely seeming to his strong tracks here, although with like that, it's very difficult to tell what's a strong track and what isn't, because they are definitely wrong at every racetrack.
I'll tell you, the time trial that we've got going on right now in GT7 sport mode with the Red Bull cars here. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Copy that. I haven't even looked into it yet. I haven't been on GT7 all this whole last week. I wasn't able to get on, so.
Yeah, I think it's they're doing it not collaboration, but because they're going to be doing something like that during the actual the Nations Cup and Manufacturers Cup. Where's it at? Milan, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sounds like we got confirmation though. So Lucas, 16 seconds off the back of Giannis. So that is going to be an incredible of Lucas to get his team up into podium positions by the end of this stint. However, he has made that certainly possible for the next driver coming into stint 3, and not entirely sure who that is. Definitely going to be a driver. There's only one driver on the team that I have no familiarity with. To the drivers, I have racing with them and whatnot. Again, top-notch group of guys. Definitely, if I find myself, to be honest, quite frequently in a big battle within myself as to who it is that I want to root for as far as other teams go. If I'm not rooting for my own team, then I always turn to, okay, who is the underdog for this race? But it's always either the Grid Life team, which is Lucas for ERA, which is Sports Race Asylum, or it is S7R. And I find myself, whoever's the underdog race, that's who I'm going to root for. You know what I mean? I love to see an underdog come and prevail.
Oh yeah, it's the typical Rocky kind of, I don't want to call it the Rocky syndrome, but that's, remember my dad telling me growing up, he always liked an underdog story, and why I always grew up loving the Rocky films. Great series of movies, great lessons to be taught. And I remember sitting my wife down and having her watch all of them, and first she's like, okay, I'll give this a shot. Your standard dude movie, right? But it's got some very it's got a very good story to tell.
It does. Perseverance through trial and maximum effort. Yeah. But and that really, and actually a really great racing analogy, because in racing it's the same thing. You putting in maximum effort. You are studying beyond belief. The amount of time that is spent studying versus actually being on the track is it's quite considerable. These guys put a lot of time and effort into being as fast as what they are. It's not just seat time, though seat time is incredibly important, and you cannot be fast without seat time. You can have all the racing knowledge in the world, and without the seat time, you're not going to be able to do it. You can have the knowledge about any aspect or thing in life, and without actually doing it, it's not going to it's just not going to show. You're not going to be as successful as what you thought you might have been.
Oh yeah, whether it be watching replays of other people's races and trying to avoid mistakes. You say, I'm thinking about doing this strategy, but then find a live stream or a pod of somebody tried that strategy and it blew up on them, and you're just like, okay, I know not to do that strategy now.
So P10 in the form of Wendigo, 1.8 seconds off the back of GTO's Sinister now. Looks like as though they have a battle for P9 coming up before the end of the. That is the closest thing that we have to a battle currently on track. Got just a couple more laps to go. I will be diving in other Stint into their lobby. And so I will leave the comms box to Mustang Chuck. And again, man, absolute pleasure having you along with me today.
Hey, I'm honored and glad that you guys asked me to do this. It's always a fun time. Just trying some things new. This is definitely a little bit newer for me, commentating on this style of racing that you guys do, but it's fun, and
it is
really looking forward to helping out in the future. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys bringing me on board.
Oh man, indeed, for having me, as I said. And I'll tell you, the great thing about being a commentator is, especially when you get to this level of racing, is the commentator really learn a lot about racing by calling comms. You get to see each of these drivers' different techniques, styles, lines, braking points, acceleration points, things such as trail braking as to what percentage of brake they're using versus what percent accelerator. There's a lot to be learned.
Oh yeah, and everybody terms it differently. Some people say ease on the throttle versus roll on the throttle, just to kind of illustrate to somebody's mind on what they should be doing. You say it one way, and it's harder to understand versus saying it another way.
Hey, thank you, Jonathan. Absolutely appreciate y'all up in chat. Pleasure having you all as well. Obviously, thank IRO and S7R for putting this on for us all, leading to see these races as they our eyes. Incredible opportunity. Not a lot of people get jump into the comms box and be able to call comms for this sim racing world. As we've seen, oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, but sometimes, special occasions, special drivers, they take their sim racing knowledge and they go out on the track and they lay it down and oftentimes surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the points that they made in the Gran Turismo movie, and how I've heard it said, one of those bleed overs in real life. The real life race drivers scoff at us sim drivers, but then when some of us go out there and actually do decent, or even as you said, just throw it down and dominate. Oh, yeah. We're onto something here.
Well, I mean, you look at Super GT and the guys that they raced, they had an incredible season last year on real life track, and I guarantee you, there wasn't a whole lot of drive in the fields that they were racing in that it expected sim racers to come in and do such a fine job. I mean, I want to say they finished like numerous times. I mean, they were just off of catching the win. They did finally, I believe, actually get a win, and I forget where it was out, but I mean, they competed in such great events such as the Nürburgring 24-hour race, incredibly well in that, and definitely the translation from sim racing to real life racing, it's a real thing. It really does. I mean, obviously not going to get the feel of the car as you would in real life, but everything else translates. What's that now?
I was about to say, you lose what you call the old butt dyno, right? In sim racing, you're static. A little bit of that is mediated by or removed by having a VR headset, because that gives you a level of immersion, but you still don't feel the car under you. But absolutely, I've felt a lot of skills that I picked up in sim racing, even though I haven't really done much real life racing. I'll kind of a little bit of karting. It helps me with my own driving, whether it be awareness of what's going on around me, having a bit of spirited driving, nothing too crazy. There are definitely some translations that can be very difficult.
Yeah, no, for sure. And certainly cannot underestimate the experience gained through even just kart racing, because that is where probably 90% of the racers that race in real life, they started out kart racing, and that's where they gained their knowledge of racing. It's those little things are incredibly difficult to manage. I mean, they'll get so sideways on you right now. You'll spin those things out so easy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I briefly did a league at a local full throttle karting facility. It's all racing go-karts, and even I was humbled a little bit because some of these are young kids who grew up doing this. I'm just coming from the sim side, and they're just smoking it. And
oh man,
I'm just back here like I'm doing the best I can. So,
oh boy, howdy!
Years before me even getting into sim racing as much as I have, so I've got way more experience than I do.
Right, Costas, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, Johnson, facts, man. Battle for P6 by the end of the race. Potentially, let's see here. Indeed, our Jake is all over the back within 5/10 of neighbor. One more lap to get this. I had better leave you to it, sir. Have to jump into the next lobby and get ready for my commentary over there. So thank you all again, chat, and to yourself, Mustang Chuck. Pleasure again, and y'all have a blessed night. Chat to you again in the next.
I don't think the folks have heard me all day, but hello.
There he is. Can you say hi to Mr. Casual down in the chat?
But yeah, I am indeed the one broadcasting, but yes. Looks like we got ourselves a battle, Chuck.
Oh yes. Picks in P7. Right into that draft. Down. Ready to go into. I already forgot the game here. And he's sticking right on that bumper. Trying to get into his head. Use that draft. Gonna make a move somewhere. Gonna bide his time, but time's running out here.
Yeah, because we're on our penultimate lap.
Yes, indeed we are.
After we get through, is he going for it?
The outside. Make it stick. No,
Okay.
he cannot. I have a feeling he's going to make the pass on this.
All right, there's a few other battles. See if I can find them. Okay, so yeah, nothing there.
Here we go. Oh, this
He's still in
we
front.
were just looking at.
Yeah. I think the other battle is behind us.
What about P7 and P8? Or P8, maybe? The outside, rather. Oh, can't quite get there. Oh, no, he's gone off! He's gone off!
Woo.
Oh, man, last lap drama. Happens when you're racing hard. I'm sure there was nothing deliberate done there.
Yeah.
Happens when you're
Nothing
racing hard.
intentional.
Sometimes, mistakes get made. Part of the human drama that is racing.
Alright, since they're spread out, that's annoying. There's our leader. Well done, Super Spot. Okay.
Well done. Well done. Steve Maggots crosses the line in P2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cross back here in P3. Lucas
coming around there.
Celebratory swerve. Fives are always good. Blitz was taken. Crossing the line in 5th.
Got Jake ended up getting past Nay. So Jake ended up taking 6th place. Followed by Nay.
RKL. I really do like that black and red. For some reason that color combination always does it for me.
Yeah, it's easy on the eyes. Pretty good. And just behind him you have Sinister, and Big J was, I'm assuming, a lap down, so he had already finished, and there you go. But yeah, I think that's your inaugural IRO commentator.
Yes, indeed. It's it's definitely a lot of fun. It's a little different, something to get used to. Looking forward to learning new skills and all of that. But yeah.
Hope everyone enjoyed. It was fun. I was like, had a few battles here and there.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. Was just saying, had a few battles here and there. Really felt bad for Oak, and I think it was Firestarter. Really felt bad for them. It's like, it's just one of those things you can't control.
Yeah, like racing incidents. That's a mechanical machine. Or save the replay. Do not close the lobby. Just a reminder, Mr. Casual.
Yep.
But it happens when it comes to racing. Mechanical failures and all of that stuff. It's ways we can translate it to real life motorsport. Just like internet connectivity issues, all that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we won't waffle, as some people across the pond like to say, too much, since we do have a second split that's should be going at this moment. But Chuck, thanks for keeping us company with Nolander before he had to dip out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dip out here soon, real quick too, because I've got to start getting ready for the PhD broadcast.
Yeah. Best of luck to you. I may watch that if I got some time. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed. And if you need more racing, like I said, there'll be a split 2. It's being produced by S7R Digital Relay.
They are indeed. I don't know if we're doing interviews, post-race interviews, or...
I mean, I have the time, but...
Yeah, well, I think we're going to go ahead and, skip out on the interview portion here. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Hope you all have a lovely weekend if we don't see you again. And I guess I will see y'all for Stint 2 of Split 2 later this afternoon. And best of luck to you, Chuck. And if you're not too tired.
Nah, I'll be all right. I should be all right. But we'll see, though. We'll see how the day progresses. But y'all take care, okay?
Thank you, and y'all have a good one.